Hey everybody, Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, giving you another update video for our IndieGoGo campaign fundraiser for our Dark Heresy role-playing show, which will be Blue Collar Heresy, which I'm really excited for. I am 99% sure we will be launching the IndieGoGo campaign tomorrow, barring any major problems. I've actually created the video for it now and added that, so you can look at the preview link for the IndieGoGo campaign to see the video where I talk about our dreams and our hopes and all that kind of stuff. So go check that out, leave me your feedback here, that'd be great. And yesterday's video, when I was talking about it, I asked the question, should we use minis? Now in my mind, I was leaning far more towards yes than no, but the commenters seem to really agree with that, which I was surprised by. I thought there would actually be a much larger debate about whether you should use miniatures when you're playing role-playing games, because I know for myself, I debate it, whether I like to use them or not. Sometimes I like the imagination that comes from having to approximate everything in your mind, but I also know that with miniatures, the Games Master's job of keeping track where everybody is during at least a combat scenario is greatly reduced, and it makes it a lot easier. And so when I put up the comment, I'm looking at the comments right now, and first off, there's definitely some people who disagree with having minis. There's always going to be that argument. But I had the two comments, like this comment for yes, use minis, and like this comment for no, don't use minis. And we had 377 people like the comment. Or I should say there's a net liking of 377 because people could have downvoted it and brought it down. So the score was essentially 377 for yes to 16 saying no. It's like it wasn't even a contest. I thought it would be like a 60-40 kind of thing, but that's just it's just ridiculous. It's like 90% of people, maybe even more, 95% of people chose that yes, they wanted miniatures, and there was good arguments for and against it. The arguments for it is that it, you know, we're a miniature wargaming show, so we should be doing that. But it seemed the majority of them were like, yeah, I've run Dark Heresy campaigns, and it's a lot easier to keep track of things with them. There are some disadvantages because really long-range stuff, it's going to be hard to depict on a board. I'm not actually thinking, because some people are like, yeah, I'd love to see it with terrain and all that. I don't think we're going to be doing like extensive board setups. It's probably going to be more like RPG maps, where it's like a grid map that even just with a magic marker to mark out areas. The idea isn't so much to make it so it's a battle report. The idea is to easily manage where everybody is, but still allow people to use their imaginations for what's actually happening with the fights. I don't want to go as far as to be using terrain and all of that, simply because then that limits the settings and the locations of where the player characters could end up. And I don't want that. I want to be able to be totally able to do whatever the heck I want without being limited by that. Now, one question that came up that you can maybe help us with is we're trying to figure out now how to do the miniatures, because these aren't acolytes for an Inquisitor. These are blue-collar workers who are basically trying to survive some bad stuff happening. So that could be like, one could be a taxi driver, one could be a janitor. So we're trying to figure out how to quickly do the minis for them, like which miniatures we should use. I know there's all sorts of places you can get miniatures, but we need to be able to get them quickly. And we also need to be able to get more of them quickly in case a guy dies and needs to replace their character. Steve had one suggestion, is to hire an artist to draw really cool images of the characters and then just print it off and kind of just have like a card that you just kind of put in some sort of little stand. And I know that they're not miniatures per se, but if the art's good, they can actually be kind of interesting. I thought that was a neat idea. It goes against the whole using minis. You're using a miniature thing, a placeholder, but that could be interesting. What do you think of that? Let me know what you think about that idea, or give us suggestions what you would use for just plain everyday workers in the 41st millennium. And I'd love to hear our 42nd millennium, I guess we're in now with the advancement of the story. I'm not sure if we're going to care about that in this case. So that would be really good. Other than that, we will be launching the IndieGoGo campaign, so go check out the preview link. Remember, it's not live yet, so you can't pledge, but you can go and see what it's like. It's the preview pages, or the page isn't completely done. I still need to get a thumbnail for the video, and probably going to add in a couple more graphics to the actual thing, just to make it more visually appealing. But you can expect it to launch sometime tomorrow, probably earlier than later, at least Eastern Standard Time. So go check it out, and give me your thoughts, and consider contributing to help us make this a reality. Thanks so much. Happy wargaming.